We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world. A little chilly here as well. Right here at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in the gaming capital, and of course on the South Point streaming network at YouTube and our anchor radio station here in town, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM. We welcome you to the show on a cold morning here. And it's a lot colder around the country, especially in some of the racing centers. We'll get to that in just a minute. Don't forget that we want to welcome all of the folks that listen to us on our other platforms as well, like our websites and the apps that you have for your devices, your iPhones, Androids, and Google phones, and, of course, anywhere you get your podcasting. So welcome to you all, however, wherever, whenever. All right, we're here on Thursday. We're starting to crank it up for a big weekend coming up here. And, of course, that big weekend will center all on South Florida at Gulfstream Park. What a monster, great handicapping card they got at Gulfstream Park for Saturday. That includes 3 Pegasus World Cup races, the original Pegasus World Cup, the Pegasus World Cup Turf, and the Pegasus World Cup Filly Mare Turf, as well as an abundance of other stakes races. 8 stakes races overall coming up on Saturday at Gulfstream. 3 grade 3s, 2 grade 2s, 2 grade 1s, and another one in there as well. On a 13-race card, the big race, the Pegasus World Cup, will be the 13th and final race. And here's another twist that's going to make Saturday kind of a really fun day for gamblers at Gulfstream Park. Usually on their big Saturdays, they'll wait until Sunday, following day, to have a mandatory payoff on the Pick 6 jackpot. But not this year, not this week. This week, there's going to be a mandatory Pick 6 jackpot payoff on Pegasus World Cup Saturday. All right? Pick 6 jackpot carryover, whatever it is, into that day will be a mandatory payoff come on Saturday. So you got today and tomorrow to get through a single ticket holder that would take down the jackpot, and then there's going to be a big carryover for the mandatory payoff on Saturday. So we got a lot to do. Our handicappers will be working on, of course, the Saturday card. We'll go over the Saturday card with most of the stakes races there with Jonathan Ardoon on Saturday. As you know, John Lendo is away this week, traveling to a family function, a wedding, come to think of it. And his Lendo reports, however, will be here uninterrupted at the South Point starting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He has none today, but he'll have one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That'll include, of course, the Coast to Coast Pick 5 for Gulfstream Park. And that Coast to Coast Pick 5 has a carryover today. Or the Coast to Coast Pick 5, I should say, will have a carryover to Friday when Santa Anita starts. And that carryover for the Coast to Coast Pick 5, the races from Santa Anita, combined Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park, $95,704 for that carryover. That'll happen tomorrow. And, of course, the mandatory payoff on the jackpot Pick 6 at Gulfstream will happen on Saturday on Pegasus World Cup Day. So get your, get your things in order for handicapping those things. Also want to remind everybody that a lot of things are happening in horse racing. You know, we started out with racetracks that are become defunct, like Arlington Park, Calder Racecourse. I can go right down the list, Hollywood Park. And now it seems that Laurel Park, after they finish reconstructing and building a brand new Pimlico Racecourse with the grandstand and all that, when Pimlico is done, Laurel Park will cease to have horse racing there. What's happening is the Maryland Stadium Authority has negotiated to buy Laurel Park and will convert it into a year-round training center for horses there in Maryland, that's a good thing. And all of the racing in Maryland on the major circuit will be done then at Pimlico's new racetrack, the Pimlico Racetrack, and that'll start in 2028. So a little shifting going on there in Maryland. You know what continues to happen in Florida with the decoupling stuff that's going on with the racetracks that could affect Gulfstream Park. And we'll wait and see how that shakes out in the courts in the future. And Santa Anita, the folks at Santa Anita is suing the authorities that seized the slot machines, the pari-mutuel slot machines out of Santa Anita, 26 of them, by the way. Santa Anita is suing to get those machines back. Why? They're just suing. So it's going to go to court, and that'll work its way out in the courts there. By the way, in Southern California, if you notice, Victor Espinoza, who spent, last year, I think, riding for Wesley Ward, a lot of Wesley Ward horses in Kentucky, et cetera, on the East Coast. I guess he doesn't like that cold weather because he has come back to Southern California. So Espinoza is back based in Southern California. That's good news, Victor Espinoza. Very talented rider, and certainly a winner of, 2 Triple Crowns, wasn't it? Or a Triple Crown with a couple of derbies, I know. Anyhow, Victor Espinoza is back. Cancellations. There is a big Arctic blast that's coming over the US of A, okay? Big Arctic blast. It's going to affect, they said, 35 states out of the entire states that we have. 35 states will be under this Arctic blast. Anywhere from snow to sub-freezing weather to ice, etc. It's just going to be bad news around the country, and it's going to affect some of the racetracks and certainly some of the racing across the country as far as participation this week. Aqueduct Racetrack, as we surmised, myself and Jonathan, because Jonathan is there on the East Coast, watching the weather reports, we surmised that they probably will cancel one or maybe two of the days over the weekend. Well, Aqueduct, in view of the weather predictions in the area where the racetrack is at, said that they are going to cancel Sunday's races already. So the Sunday racing at Aqueduct has been canceled. It's going to move to next Wednesday. Okay? That's canceled Sunday, canceled Wednesday. Now, Turfway Park, which is part of that Arctic freeze coming through, Turfway Park has already decided to cancel both Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow and Saturday are cancellations at Turfway. They're going to try to get in the card tonight, though. So far, that's the deal. But I can tell you right now, tracks like Charlestown and in that area, Parks Racing, you got Penn National, all those tracks in that area in Pennsylvania could very well be canceling too. So it's if Aqueduct and Turfway have already decided to cancel because of the weather, you can expect some of those other racetracks to cancel in forthcoming hours and days. It's all due to that weather, that really, really crazy weather. Now, as far as absolute precipitation, it doesn't look too bad right now around the country, but the temperatures are the things that's killing it. First of all, we're right here in Las Vegas right now. We're outside. It's 42 degrees, and we're going to get up to 61 degrees. Now, looking at the rest of the country, and as I said, the 35 states that are going to suffer through this Arctic blast coming through, that looks like get out your sun block and enjoy the weather, but it's still cold here. But in any case, we're really centering on what's going on in South Florida at Gulfstream Park. Now, I believe it rained overnight, Gulfstream. There's still some forecast that has some rain in the area for today in Miami at Gulfstream Park. So Gulfstream Park, now, you remember, they're going to have a big day of racing with all those stakes races. They want to keep the turf course as pristine as possible. So it got rain overnight. So they're going to be off the turf today at Gulfstream Park. That affects 3 turf races today at Gulfstream. They're going to be off the turf today at Gulfstream, trying to keep it as pristine as possible for the big Saturday card and all of the stakes races on the grass there. Let's hope that that system starts pushing its way out of its way so we can get some really neat, nice, fast and firm conditions for Saturday at Gulfstream. But for today, it's going to be 77 down there. The temperature's fine, but it's going to be cloudy and some rain down there in Miami. Further up in Florida, however, at Tampa Bay, there's just going to be cloudy there. So the whatever the rain is very far south in Florida. Tampa is going to be 78 degrees. As far as racing in New York for today, they are settling in. They're going to race in New York. The high is going to be 49 degrees there. Chicago is going to be 24. These are the highs now. And, of course, when you get further up to the north of the border with Canada, it's really going to be cold, like minus 10 degrees in International Falls, minus 10, etc. And let's see. Here in Las Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona, 72. Here in Las Vegas, we're going to get up to 60, 61, 62, something like that. Going to top out. I got to say it. Hottest part in the hottest place in the country right now is Brownsville, Texas, 80 degrees. No racing down there, however. Okay? So those are some of the things that are happening as far as the weather and the latest on the news. Tonight, the Eclipse Awards will be broadcast on the cable television network FanDuel. The FanDuel cable network will host the Eclipse Awards. I guess they start the red carpet thing right around 3:30 Pacific time, which would be 6:30 Eastern time. But the actual the show is supposed to get underway at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on FanDuel. Now, we went over the finalists for that, and tonight they'll actually give out the awards, the official horses out of the finalists who actually won the Eclipse Awards. Now, of course, most people have already predicted a lot of the Eclipse Award winners, as they do on the Oscars and all that, but it is our Oscars for racing, the Eclipse Awards. And for the most part, I think Sovereignty will win Horse of the Year. But that'll be on FanDuel tonight. So we'll get a chance to kind of watch that and see what's going on there. Okay? We have Jonathan Hardoon with us today. We've got Rich Ang with us and Jerry J. I asked Jerry J to come on earlier. You know, Jerry chooses the time when he comes on. Sometimes he comes on a little bit earlier. Sometimes he comes on very late. But we can't put Jerry on the air until we see him connected with to get with us. So I requested Jerry to come on a little bit earlier because we have been rushing him the last couple of times when he explains his betting strategy. You know, Jerry's a little bit long on words. And so we had to, because the computers are going to knock him off anyhow. So I asked him to come on a little bit earlier so he can kind of explain his way. So we got Jerry doing that. As I say, John Lindo is traveling. So we won't have John today, but we will have John's picks. John's going to send us picks tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And his sheets will be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's just in transit right now, okay? And as far as some of the big days of racing coming up past the Pegasus World Cup this Saturday, you got the Saudi Cup card, the big Saudi Cup card down there. A lot of American horses going down there for those races. The Saudi Cup will be on the 14th of February, and then they'll piggyback right to the 30th edition of the Dubai World Cup and the Dubai World Cup card. 30th edition already of the Dubai World Cup. Wow. And that'll be on March 28th. In the meantime, here back in the States, taking a look at the races now that have Kentucky Derby points. Well, coming up on the 23rd of this month, which is tomorrow, the UAE Guineas Stakes in the United Arab Emirates will have Kentucky Derby points. That'll be tomorrow. And then on the 31st of this month, which is not this weekend, but next weekend, of course, at Gulfstream Park, you'll have the Holy Bull with Kentucky Derby points. And Oaklawn Park will start its regular meet. That'll happen on the 30th. And on that day, the Southwest, part of the Arkansas Derby Series, and Kentucky Derby points. And in New York, the Wither Stakes, part of the Wood Memorial Series, and the Kentucky Derby points there. So we got some Kentucky Derby point races that are coming up by the end of this month. And next month in February, there are 11 different stakes races around the country that will have Kentucky Derby points as well. So we're getting into the, getting ready for the march to the Kentucky Derby. All right, enough news there. We got our handicappers and all that. I do personally here want to apologize for our handicappers yesterday. And we get our handicappers, they do hard work and all that stuff. 90% of the time, if their horses don't win, they're live animals. They run well in the races. So it didn't happen yesterday. It was a big bomb by our handicappers yesterday. I mean, the horses ran terrible yesterday. As a matter of fact, one of them didn't even complete the course, ran up the track. So, turnabout's fair play, which I want you to know what's going on there. But we still have a lot of faith in our handicappers here on the show. So, without any further ado, we'll get started with today's show by going to our first commercial. When we come back, we'll give you a racing menu and then off with the handicappers. Don't go away.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All righty, time to get started with our racing menu for today. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post-time we broadcast on this racing menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're here in Las Vegas and you're going to play with us at the South Point today, these will be the first post times that roll out in our race book. If you're not, and you're in the Pacific time zone, same deal. These will be the first post times. If you're listening or watching us anywhere else around the world in so many different time zones at so many different platforms, adjust to the Pacific time zone wherever you're at, tweak it out so you won't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? We begin with Parks Racing. Parks Racing today has a first post time of 9:05. They've got 10 races today at Parks, if they go, and their first post time at Parks Racing is at 9:05. Mahoning Valley Racecourse. They've got a pick six jackpot carryover of $1,341. They've got 8 races today at Mahoning and a first post time of 9:15. 9:15 at Mahoning Valley. Gulfstream Park, getting ready for the big weekend. Gulfstream Park has 10 races today. The Gulfstream Park Rainbow Pick Six Jackpot carryover stands now at $245,292. $242,292. Now, if it escapes a single winning jackpot ticket today and with more money in it tomorrow, it will be a mandatory gargantuan payoff on Saturday's Pegasus World Cup Day there at Gulfstream. Today, $245,292. 10 races, as we said, they're already off the turf. That means the first race, the 6th race, and the 10th and final race at Gulfstream today will come off the turf and on the tappeta footing, the synthetic footing there. First post time for 10 races today at Gulfstream is at 9:20. Then we go to the Big A, Aqueduct in New York. Now, Aqueduct has a first post time of 9:40. 9:40 is the first post time at Aqueduct. They say it's mostly cloudy, 42 degrees. Track's fast at Aqueduct. So the first post time for the 8 races today at Big A is at 9:40. 9:40 there today. And, of course, the bad weather is on its way there, but not yet. Okay? Next up comes the Fairgrounds. Fairgrounds has 9 races today, and their first post time is at 10:45. Fairgrounds has a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $27,043. $27,043 for the Fairgrounds pick 6 jackpot carryover there. And again, a first post time of 10:45. Then we get to Turf Paradise. Turf Paradise has a couple of nice carryovers today. Turf Paradise, they have a pick 5. This is a regular pick 5 carryover at Turf Paradise today of $39,488. $39,488. And a carryover for the pick 5, the regular pick 5 at Turf Paradise. They also have their pick 6 jackpot carryover. That stands today at $61,629. $61,629. A couple of nice carryovers for Turf Paradise today. Their first post time is 12:15. The first 2 races will be quarter horse races, and the final 6 will be thoroughbreds. Again, first post time Turf Paradise, 12:15 with those 2 carryovers. Then we go to Delta Downs. Delta Downs has 8 races today, and their first post time is at 2:45. 2:45 at Delta. And then we go to Turfway Park. Turfway Park has a first post time of 2:55 today. They've got a huge carryover in their pick 6 jackpot. Turfway Park's pick 6 jackpot carryover stands at $388,720. $388,720 in the pick 6 jackpot carryover at Turfway Park, and a first post time of 2:55 there. And then we wrap it up with Charlestown. Charlestown pick 6 jackpot carryover, $35,434. Their first post time, if they go today at Charlestown, is set at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. for them. Okay, and that is our racing menu for today. We are now going to go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I wore enough clothes to be nice and warm this morning here, walking through the parking lot. It's chilly for us. 41 degrees, 42 degrees, pretty chilly for us. The overnight
You're
lows,
soft, Ralph.
the overnight lows, by the way, get to around freezing, but we're going to warm up a little. Yeah, I know. But
You'd never leave your house if you lived on the East Coast.
well, as a kid, I did live on the East Coast, and I was out there helping my dad shovel the long driveway we had at that time when I was a kid there. So I know all about that
You
snow.
paid your dues. You paid
Yeah.
your dues. You
So,
know, it's surprising, Ralph, that Gulfstream would give away not that it matters, but Gulfstream giving away the pick six on Saturday when Sunday would be a dead day. They don't need any extra attractions for Saturday, not with the card they put on.
you
You
know,
would think they would hold up pick six to Sunday if they had any smarts.
you know, well, they normally do. You know that, and that's why I made a big
Right.
thing about it. They normally do. But I guess they want to put a little incentive to really making the Pegasus World Cup kind of a big day for handling. They want to, they want to cause a lot of records, etc. You got to admit, the racing office did a great job with putting that card together.
That's the whole point. Why do you need anything extra? The
Yeah,
card in its own right is enough to attract, if it can't attract a handle on Saturday, they might as well close the doors. One race is better than the next. It's like a mini Breeders' Cup kind of day,
it
to be
is.
honest with you.
Hmm.
That's why I would have held the carryover mandatory payout till Sunday, but that's them. So
And that key race for 3-year-olds with a couple of really nice royally bred horses that cost a lot of money and have been people have been talking about. That race for 3-year-olds goes on Sunday. Not going to go on Saturday. It'll be on Sunday.
yeah, there's a couple of well-bred horses that are working terrific.
Yeah,
That there's all kinds of hype about, and let's
yeah.
see how good they really
Well,
are.
I think of the two horses, and they'll go as the 7th race on Sunday, by the way. Spartacus and Canaletto. Spartacus and Canaletto are the two horses. They're both in the same race. It's a race for
Right.
3-year-olds, and yes, they have had a lot of advanced publicity about them, let's say.
And who trains them? I think Pletcher and I
Well,
don't know. We'll
yeah,
find out.
yeah, they didn't quite go to guys that are not familiar with handling horses of that caliber and trying to get the most out of them, for sure. Um, on Saturday, we'll be talking about a lot of the stakes, not all of them, but a lot of the stakes races. We'll go over those stakes races, and obviously we'll go over the 3 Pegasus World Cup races, the Turf, the Filly Mare Turf, and the Pegasus World Cup. Can't believe that this Pegasus World Cup is also already going to have its 30th running. No, I'm sorry. That's the Dubai World Cup. Even that, I mean,
Right.
can't believe that Dubai World Cup is the 30th running. I
I
remember
think it's the 10th or 11th. If you remember
Yeah,
when
right.
this whole thing started, it used to be like it was like a $16 million purse, and it would cost you $1 million to get in, and people would buy stalls to get in. If you remember the
Yeah.
first couple of years, that didn't pan out. So now they're giving away $3 million, and it doesn't cost. I guess it costs something to get into the race, but not not $1 million.
And did not Frank Stronach just spent a gargantuan amount of money, millions of dollars, for this huge, huge horse statue that they still have there that goes several stories high?
Pegasus. I think so.
Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting for them to, gut it out on the inside and make apartments in there or something useful. Where do you live? I live on
He's
the.
not
I
gonna
live in.
count that for that horse.
Where do you live? I live in Pegasus Neck.
Very good.
It's gonna be a good day of racing though. Any other races besides the World Cup races that you have perused and said, "Boy, I can't wait for this race because of one or two factors. One, that you like the competition in the race, or two, that you like a horse with a nice price in the race."
I just started doing it, and I went to actually this card I handicapped backwards. I
Mhm.
started in the Pegasus because it's the 13th and final race,
Yeah.
and I'm working backwards. So I only finished 3 or 4 races. So nothing, it's going to be good, Ralph. They're good races. That turf race is wide open. I mean, you're going to find value, and if you hit 1 or 2 of those races, just like a Breeders' Cup Day, you have an opportunity to make some money.
Well, it's nice to see that we are looking forward to a big card at Gulfstream Park because right now, and because I guess it's the time of the year in the wintertime and all that, and the the condition of racing right now, with the availability of horses, etc., that can pass the mustard for a HISA these days. We've got short fields at both Aqueduct in New York and Santa Anita in Southern California.
Yeah, New York today, Ralph, is brutal. I think there's one race with 7 horses. The rest of them are really, 5 and 6 horse fields. And unfortunately, the same thing goes with Santa Anita. And Santa Anita had that 5th day of racing. So when they go 5 days, they pay for it the next couple of days down the road because they just don't have the inventory or the stock.
Well, I see on my sheet that Aqueduct, actually the 8th race does have 9 in it before any scratches.
Okay,
And there's a couple
one race.
yeah, I mean, well, there's 3 races that have 7 in it, but I know what you're talking about because the first couple of races look pretty anemic.
And all those races, by the way, even the races with 7 horses, they all have a big prohibitive favorite in them. Like the last race today, where there are 9 horses, Linda Rice sends out the 5 with Angels. She's even money on the morning line, and she looks it. So even the races with more horses in it, unfortunately, the chalk really looks tough.
Yeah, and the 7th race with 7 in it has an 8-5 favorite. The 6th race with 7 in it has a 6-5 favorite, and the 5th
There
race
you
with
go.
7 in it has an 8-5 favorite and a 2-1 second choice. So if you're going to try to beat either one of those two, you got to go third deep to try to beat them both
So how are you supposed to really? The opportunities are certainly slim in New York for today.
to make money. Well, you've been
Yeah.
you've been doing. I know that you've been on and off, but with doing the fairgrounds in New Orleans. Obviously, I think there's probably more of an opportunity to make some money at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And it looks as if the card is a little bit better there. They have short fields there too, but they're more competitive.
Yeah, and even at Gulfstream with the races coming off the turf, at least they moved to Tapeta so they don't get decimated with scratches. Most of them will just run on Tapeta, even if they were scheduled to run on the grass. So
Let's hope
it
that.
is what it is. You can only deal with the cards that they give you.
Yeah.
You try to do the best you can. You got to be more selective, and you're going to make less bets. That's unfortunately the reality of it.
Jonathan, let's hope that the weather gets passed through there in Miami sometime today and starts drying out for tomorrow and by Saturday, don't you think?
Yeah, hopefully Saturday. They're calling for nice weather on Saturday,
Yeah.
so hopefully they get it right because, listen, it's their biggest day of the year. You don't want to see a washout on that day, that's for sure.
All right. Eclipse Awards tonight. Who's going to be Horse of the Year?
Sovereignty.
Okay.
No?
Oh.
Who's your horse of the year?
Well, I voted for Sovereignty. I think he is, but
Okay, I second it.
done deal. Why watch the show then?
Okay, that's it. You don't have to watch.
In any case, there will be some, however,
Some
some
surprises,
category.
and some people will get pissed off about something. You
Yeah.
know that. So.
Some categories are going to be tricky to get, but that should be pretty easy there as well. And we have him both training for his comeback in Florida, and we've got journalism already back at Santa Anita training for his comeback. I believe Baez is also going to be back as well. So we're going to have some good racing as we get through this deep freeze of this winter time. But I can't believe they said 35 states are going to be under some Arctic blast in the next
listen, when they
few
name
days.
a storm, when they give a storm a name, they gave the storm Fern. So whenever they give a storm a name, it's probably pretty serious. Unless it's a hurricane, just to get a snowstorm and give it a name, you don't see that too often.
Yes, it's going to be a cold one. That's for sure.
It's going to be a mess.
It is going to be a mess. All right. Well, let's see if we can root out some winners today here, Mr. Hardoon. What do you got for us?
Will do. Okay, so we're going to look at Aqueduct's 7th race today for the first of our 3 race day Las Vegas plays. And I like a little bit of a price horse here. Number 4, Hong Kong Fooey. This is a 3-year-old colt from the Rudy Rodriguez barn. He returns to training today. And this horse has been off since his 2-year-old campaign. He had 2 starts as a 2-year-old. He actually ran very well. He gets Lasix today for the first time as a 3-year-old. 9-2 on the morning line. Ruben Silvera aboard to ride. I like number 4, Hong Kong Fooey, to win today's 7th race out at Aqueduct.
That's going to be kind of fun to listen to the track announcer do that one. In the 7th race, number 4, Hong Kong Fooey. The 4 in the 7th race at Aqueduct. What's next?
Let's go to Gulfstream Race 10, which will now be run on Tapeta at 1.70 miles. Number 4, Cairo Girl, a 4-year-old filly from the Red Hot Mark Cassie barn. Irad Ortiz takes the mount. This horse makes her first start as a 4-year-old. She ran very well last year at Woodbine. 7-2 on the morning line. I like number 4, Cairo Girl, to win today's 10th race out at Gulfstream Park.
All right, the 10th and final race at Gulfstream, now a mile on the Tapeta footing, or the synthetic racetrack. The 10th race, the 4 Cairo Girl, in the 10th race at Gulfstream. And we'll wrap it up, I guess, at Fairgrounds, huh?
Yeah, third race today, 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Number 1, Zoom Erin. This 6-year-old mare makes her first start for trainer Jonathan Wong. He's off to a terrific start. He's 4 for 17 at the meet. Harry Hernandez rides 4-1 on the morning line. I like number 1, Zoom Erin, to win today's third race out at Fairgrounds.
All right, third race, 5.5 furlongs. The 1, Zoom Erin, the 1 in the third at the Fairgrounds, is your play at 4-1 on the morning line. Third race, the 1 at the Fairgrounds. The only thing that affects watching the Fairgrounds on the simulcast is they've got those trees in the infield at the Fairgrounds that, it's got to be 300 years old or something. They're not going to cut them down, and they shouldn't. But maybe it would be a good time to use a drone shot when you can for when they go behind the trees, because you got a horse that might be leading.
They do it at Kentucky Downs. They do it at other tracks.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got a horse, that's leading, going behind the trees. He comes out and he's finishing. He's third now.
It's another horse that's got the lead when they come out.
Yeah. But anyhow, Fairgrounds deep in history, that's for sure. In the third race, you like the 1. You have full sheets today for both the Fairgrounds and Aqueduct and Gulfstream Park.
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
Yeah, let's get some winners today. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. You stay warm, my man.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to come back with Rich Ang standing by. Maybe take a quick glance at how they're betting these 2 big playoff games this weekend for the NFL. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going, every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
You got Josh Allen on one side, right, but they are pretty beat up.
You look at these 2 teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Their Bears are going to pile it on. It'll be through the arm of Caleb Williams here.
Think this number's gotten too high? Definitely like the Niners.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Ang standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Richie, the horse that you gave out yesterday at Turfway Park, I got to think that I could not bet that horse anymore. He got such a perfect trip from that jock. And when he asked him to go, he went. But as soon as he passed other horses and got to the lead, he kind of hung around waiting for his buddies to show up. He looks like he's a typical hanger.
Yeah, I texted you last night after the race, Ralph, and I said that's a perfect example of what we call herd mentality. He wants to run with horses and not separate from them. So he just idled and let one horse pass him, and he ran second. I would say this, I would only use that horse in exactas and not in the top spot.
Wheel him in the 2-hole. Duly noted. That's for sure. Well, we're coming up this weekend with the 2 playoff games in the NFL that will decide the 2 teams in the final. to get to the Super Bowl this year. Are there any unusual action or news coming out of the matchups in either one of the two games?
Well, if anyone follows me on Twitter, somebody did ask me, my opinion on the two games once the Sunday games were done, and I already bet these games on Sunday night, Ralph, when the lines first came out, because the first number that came out in the New England Denver game, especially after the news that Bo Nix had a fracture in his ankle, was New England -6. I jumped on that, Ralph. I've already bet Denver +6, and then the other line was Rams and Seattle. Seattle opened as a 2.5 point favorite. I bet that also because I'd rather bet that before it goes to 3. So I've already bet the games. I bet Denver +6. I bet Seattle plus -2.5, and I also bet a 6 point teaser between those two. So I teased Denver up to 12 and Seattle to +3.5. But the betting on the New England Denver game has kind of dropped back a little bit. I've actually seen some 5s and 4.5s. So I think there is some buyback that there might be an overreaction to Knicks' injury. Jarrett Stidham is a former Raiders quarterback, and for people who have followed his story, he was drafted by the New England Patriots a few years ago. He backed up Tom Brady for 2 years. Then, when his contract ended, Josh McDaniels took the job at Las Vegas to coach the Raiders. He brought Stidham with him, and even though Stidham only started a couple of games, McDaniels definitely liked Stidham. And then when Sean Payton took the job at Denver 3 years ago to be the Denver coach, the first player that he signed in free agency was Jarrett Stidham. So he's been in the Payton system, offensive system, for 3 years. I kind of agree with people who say that he's going to surprise some experts and play well. I don't think he's going to play like Tom Brady, but he just has to not lose the game for Denver because they have a stout defense. So, that's my take there. And with Seattle and the Rams, boy, that's going to be a heck of a football game, Ralph. The Rams are one negative, I think, for the Rams. This is their third straight road game, and if you talked about that during the regular season, that's a real negative to keep traveling and traveling and traveling. Seattle, meanwhile, has been home for the entire month, and their game last week, they blew out the 49ers, so a lot of their starters played part-time. So I think they're going to have a more rested team, Ralph, and it might show in the second half.
Well, I know that Stidham, the coach there, has a lot of confidence in him, and he said that he's been in the system long enough. He knows what's going on, etc. During practice throughout the weeks, he got more snaps than a usual backup would, and so even with Knicks, out, they believe, and like you said, their strength, Denver's strength all year long has been their defense. So we'll wait and see about that. But I think they're going to be two good games. I wouldn't take the injury of the number one quarterback for Denver too much out of line. There was a big reaction, as you said at the beginning, but it's starting to settle down now.
Yeah, 6 was just way too high. I mean, New England, it is football, and New England could still blow them out, and they'll say, "Oh, the 6 was a gift." Right now, looking at the game on paper, if it's a one-score game, you rather be +6 than -6 if it's a one-score game.
Absolutely. They're going to be two good games, though, and so then the way you see it, your prediction is going to be the Super Bowl between Denver and Seattle.
Yeah, well, they're the two number one seeds, so in a way, that's not that big an upset. But the entire season, the parity has been there. I mean, we've seen a lot of results where teams that upset teams that supposedly were better than their opponent on paper. But parity is very real. So it would be kind of odd in a year of so much parity in the NFL that the two number one seeds were able to get through. But one of the advantages we talked about in the past few weeks, Al, the number one seed is the only team that gets a bye, and being able to play your games, excuse me, not only at home but also to get the extra week of rest, it is beneficial.
Yeah, that is definitely so. And of course, injuries will play the X factor that you just don't know until the games start. Well, it's going to be interesting on Sunday, but right now what we need to do is try to build a little bankroll for Saturday for Gulfstream Park. Are you doing anything special for the Gulfstream Park, the Pegasus World Cup card?
Good question, Ralph. No, I'm not. I'll probably just pick my simulcast play of the day out of that program.
Mm-hmm.
Should be one heck of a card, as you just said. I'm looking forward to it and taking a rubber band off.
All right, you got it. Well, let's start by building the bankroll today with a pick.
Turfway Park, race number 6. I like the number 7 horse. I Made It. Former California jockey Martin Garcia relocated back to the Midwest. This is a mount that he's riding for Cipriano Contreras. This horse has 2 races at Turfway Park, been second twice. So let's see if Garcia can get the job done on the 7. I Made It.
Okay, you got in the 6th race, number 7, I Made It. The 7, I Made It in the 6th. Any other picks?
Yeah, actually, there's a chance I think Turfway might cancel. If they do, let me give a backup, an alternate pick, just so we have some action around. But Fairgrounds, I'm pretty sure they're going to run race 9. I like the number 6 horse, Island Cabana. Harry Hernandez, who's a top jockey. I guess he has left Turf Paradise. He's riding at the Fairgrounds for Robertino Diodoro. But this horse was claimed off a nice effort last time out, and certainly has a class edge against these 6. Island Cabana as a second pick for today.
All right, 9th race at the Fairgrounds, number 6, Island Cabana. And at Turfway Park, his original pick in the 6th race, number 7, I Made It. And if they go at Turfway and Fairgrounds, I'll imagine that people will probably bet both of them.
Yeah, and hey, that's you can parlay them, create your own daily double.
Yeah. All right, you got it. Thanks a lot, Richie, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, we're going to get a message from Sports by the Book and then take our final break. When we come back, I see that Jerry Jackowitz has finally joined us, and he'll be next. Don't go away.
Howdy, Race Day fans. Ryan McCormick here, producer of Sports by the Book. College football season's officially over. We only have 3 games remaining in the NFL season. So for your sports gambling edge on day-to-day sports, join us at Sports by the Book on YouTube. Today's show, we have DeBest, Dwayne Colucci, joining Alex White and myself, as well as the play-by-play voice of the UNLV Rebels and the Las Vegas Aviators, Matt Neverett, to preview the 2 massive conference championships coming up on Sunday. For your sports gambling edge, join us at Sports by the Book on YouTube, 10 a.m. Pacific.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas, and we are going to give Jerry Jackowitz a lot more time today because he joined us earlier today. And so now, with any further ado, we'll get to Mr. Jackowitz to complete his thought on the betting strategy that he used in that race last week. But before we get that, Jerry, before we run out of any more time, and you've got plenty of time now, but we'll get your pick at Aqueduct first, and then you'll get to your...
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go to the 8th at Aqueduct.
Okay.
I always like to do the last race if I can. Number 8, Cupid's Heart, the 8 horse in the 8th race. Santana up 9-2. Very attractive looking horse, and you kind of look at it and it just seems to be racing into form, and she seems to be racing and in form and continuing to improve. I like that with an older horse in particular. So we'll take the 8 at 9-2, win in place over the 1, 2, 5, and 7. reverse 1, 2, 5, and 7 back over the 8. And because the 5 is so short, we'll put some extra money on a 5-8 just to make sure that if it comes in 5-8, we need a couple of extra tickets to build up the payout, make sure that we get at least 2 to 1 on the backside of it. So.
All right, so the 8 over 1, 2, 5, 7, and reverse the 5 at even money on the morning line in this race. You got to bet a 5, 8, 8, 5 a few more times, certainly the 5, 8, to assure that if the 5 beats the 8, that you'll get money back, right?
Well, you really need more 5-8. The 8-5 you can bet an extra time, sure, but that's not the big play. In fact, you kind of want the 5 to run out, personally.
Well, sure we do, yeah. Okay, you can complete your thought now since you came with us early today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you made the time, and I'm here. Anyway, so we were talking about the race on January 16th, the 7th race at Santa Anita, where we gave out 2 horses, just to briefly review. The 5 and the 6 over the 1, 3, 5, 6 was the actual play. And the 5 was our top-rated horse and ended up going 20 to 1. And the 6 was our star horse and second-rated horse, so it was also pretty fast. And it went off at 3, almost 7 to 2. And while I was giving out the play on the show, I was a little more focused on the 6 horse because I love my star horses.
Right.
And those are always the horses I think that are in the best form. But that's not the whole story. When real time came, when you guys were out there looking at this at the odds board, Atomic Drop, the 5 horse, blew up to 19 to 1.
Yeah.
And so at 19 to 1, my second best horse in the race in terms of betting, my top rated horse on the sheet, and my star horse, which is going to be my preferred horse, is 7 to 2. 7 to 2, 19 to 1. That's a huge wide gulf in the price. But in the handicapping, the gulf was very little. They were fairly close. So for me, the right play was to really move most of my money, or at least bet 2 a double unit play. And in this case, that's what I did, because 7 to 2 on the 6 didn't bother me too much. So instead of betting, and I'm going to do this in a $50, you don't have to know my bet, but I'll do this in a $50.
Sure. Go ahead.
I bet $50 on each horse.
Okay.
I didn't bet $50 on one and then bet $5 on the other because it was a big price.
Right. Go ahead.
That's really bad strategy.
All right.
I bet $50 on each one. I bet them each as if they were standalone horses in the race. And so, as I said yesterday, I would have started off with a $15 to win, $30 place bet on the 6 horse, because 20 to 1 shots run second twice for every time they run first. And then I bet an extra exacta, 5, 6, 6, 5 for $2 each way. And then I bet an extra $2 on the 5, 6, so that made a $4. So now I'm up to $51, and then I bet just one spread. So it turned it into a $60 bet. This is how I do it. This is how I start. This is how a $50 bet always becomes a $60 bet. I took the 5 overall, and then I reversed the all over 5.
Okay, so the total amount of all these bets that you made, the total amount that you were into the race was what?
$60 on this side.
I thought you said you did 2 $50 bets. That's $100.
I did, but a $50 bet always becomes $60 with me with a long shot.
I see. So it wasn't 50 to win; it was $50 total on the horse.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
because it sounded like you bet $50 to win on each horse.
And it was 1/3 proportion to the win, and 2/3 proportion to the place. Because I started off 15 to win, 30 to place.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure that on a 20 to 1 shot, or 15, 20 to 1 shot, I'm always got more money on the place because they run second. We got
that from you. Yeah, we got that from you already.
Then I made a simple normal bet on the 5 horse for about $55, which was all exactness.
Okay, we get it. You repeated it several times, and we do get it. That was a good synopsis of it. You got one more thing to say, so say it.
Have Have a great race day, everybody.